Fighting corruption through his news may be one of President Muhammadu Buhari's major agenda for his government, but that is perhaps frustrated now as it laments the slow prosecution of major corruption cases in the courts. That's our focus on the program. Many thanks for joining in, everyone. This is Politics Today on Channels Television. We're reaching you live from our Lagos studio in Nigeria. I'm Shinwo Kimbaloye. Let me bring you updates on the unpleasant development and scenario which played out last week at the Nigerian Senate. The upper chamber of the National Assembly has received a lot of attention recently when Senator Dino Melaye, representing Kogi West, was said to have replied Senator Oluremi Tinubu in what some senators describe as a very strong and unpleasant words over arguments and debate on the floor of the Senate last Tuesday during an executive session. Senator Oluremi Tinubu today wrote to the police boss, the acting Inspector General of Police, asking for protection. And according to the letter made available to Channels Television, she said Senator Melaye threatened her life without any provocation whatsoever. Well, let me read to you portions of that letter. Senator Oluremi Tinubu also in that letter said that it was the timely intervention of a number of colleagues which prevented Senator Melaye from unleashing physical attack on me. However, the leadership of the Senate did not call him to order in this circumstance. He proceeded to threaten my life without any provocation whatsoever. In view of Senator Melaye's antecedent, particularly in the House of Representatives, where a brawl led by him had led to the untimely death of a member, I have decided not to ignore his threat to my life. Therefore, I am compelled to urge you to use your good offices to provide me with adequate security. End of quote. That's according to Senator Oluremi Tinubu, a letter dated July 18 and written to the acting Inspector General of Police, Louis Edet House, Police Headquarters in Abuja, where that scenario is playing out. The Senate leadership has not come out to say anything about this matter, neither as the leadership of the APC, because the two senators we're talking about here involved in this matter are of the ruling APC. Well, that's really not our major story of the day, but let's take a look at some of the top political stories we're following this time.
Political roundup on Channels Television. Yeah, are your top political stories this time.
As many Nigerians are curious about federal appointments, explanations continue to come up on some of the ones made so far by the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Although the Senate has paused consideration of the ambassadorial nominations as sent by the President, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Senator Moserat Sumonu, says the committee is working to ensure that all states are represented on the list.
We believe that each state has to be represented.
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress has released a timetable and schedule of activities for the conduct of the party's 2016 governorship primary election in Ondo State. The party's National Organizing Secretary, Osita Izunazo, made the announcement in a press statement. According to him, the timetable and schedule of activities, sale of forms, will commence at the party's National Secretariat from Tuesday, July 19 to Friday, August 5, 2016. The announcement also said governorship nomination forms would be sold at 5 million naira, while intending aspirants are expected to pay 500,000 naira to pick expression of interest form. The forms are free for female aspirants. The primary election proper will hold on Saturday, August 27, 2016. An election appeal will hold from Monday, August 29th to Thursday, September 1, 2016. And to the Edo State 2016 governorship election, the People's Democratic Party is asking the president to ensure a level playing ground at the poll. The party in a statement said the stage is now set for the people of the state to decide among the party's candidate who is more prepared to deliver democratic dividends to the people of Edo State. The party went further to say that Nigerians now know better, and the people of Edo State have also tasted the difference between the government of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and that of the All Progressives Congress (APC, and will decide on Saturday, 10 September 2016, who will govern them. We have seen it before, and we're seeing it again with the usual empty promises of the APC. They will promise everything to deceive the people, and will go 360 degrees, denouncing all their promises once they grab power.
And you're up to date. Those are your top political stories you need to know.
Since you're up to date, let's now get into the major conversation of today, where the President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed worry over what he calls the delay of cases on corruption before various courts across the country. The President, who was speaking at an anti-corruption summit on the role of judges and the fight against corruption, says that the expectation of the Nigerian public is yet to be met with regard to the removal of delayed cases filed before the courts. According to him, it is unfortunate that the courts are tolerating delay by defense lawyers in the various cases of corruption filed by the government, because no case of corruption before any Nigerian court is progressing as it should, despite the provisions of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, which makes provisions for speedy trial. According to him, when cases are not concluded, it sends the negative message that corruption pays. Well, let me show you a picture of some of what corruption has made of Nigeria in the past years. Well, on the index of the corruption perception, according to Transparency International, Nigeria ranks 136th out of 168 nations of the world. And again, according to PwC report, it shows that corruption in Nigeria could cost up to 37% of the Nigeria's GDP by 2030 if it is not dealt with immediately. Is also the report by PwC also disclosed that this cost is equated to around $1,000 per person in 2014 and nearly $2,000 per person by 2030. Well, some people also said that as of 2012, Nigeria is estimated to have lost over $400 billion to corruption since it got independence from Britain. Well, the president has said on his inauguration that he wants to fight corruption as one of the major agenda of his administration. And a colleague of mine, when he was talking to the president, he asked him, what would you like to be remembered for as the president of Nigeria? And he told him that he would love to be seen or called the president who would fought corruption to his knees. That means corruption is a major one for President Muhammadu Buhari administration. In that sense, let's get some perspective into this matter now. Joining us on the program is the executive director of Enough in Nigeria, a civil rights advocacy group. Mr. Yemi Adamolekun, who joins us from some part of the downtown in Lagos. Many thanks for joining us on the program. Well, a lot of people are expectant about some of the cases that we've seen on the issues of corruption in Nigeria. But first and foremost, what do you make of the way in the last 1 year corruption war has been prosecuted?
The challenge for most Nigerians, I think there's no doubt that the president is passionate about fighting corruption. But I think for most Nigerians, if by the time Nigerians are joking that they rather have a corrupt government where and the economy works, rather than this fight around corruption that nobody can really see the direct benefits. Now, be that as it may, there's some things that are fundamentally wrong from the previous administration.
Sorry,
in terms of
I'd like to pause you for a moment because we've got to go on this break. Then you round up that thought when we come back. Stay with us.